So I know I said before that Ty Lue should be coming back to the Clippers and everything should be fine. Everything should be going well. But, things have been getting a little odd here lately, with the situation. And negotiations are not going as planned, with the Ty Lue situation. Because you're hearing, when I'm looking at some of my sources, I'm hearing things like, and I'm reading some things like Steve Ballmer has always been enamored, basically, always been high up on Ty Lue, definitely want him back, definitely want him part of the culture. And then you hear Ty Lue on some people in his camp saying that, he wants a brand new contract instead of a regular an extension. So it's like, he's basically, him and his team is basically putting together a plot where it's like they either going to get more or they're going to take the opportunity possibly somewhere else. Even though it'd be hard to do, it would be hard to pry Ty Lue away from the Clippers just because all that's invested in him and he's got invested in the Clippers and everything, and plus contractual situations. But either way, there's always that slim chance. And what I'm saying, if the Clippers don't match what Ty Lue is thinking, there's definitely a better chance of Ty Lue wanting to go elsewhere. Whether it happens or not, we have to see. But I definitely believe that to be the case based upon, what's coming out of Ty Lue's camp and some of the reports that were reported and things of that nature, especially about him wanting a new contract instead of a contract extension. So, that kind of, makes things a little bit pessimistic. That makes things a little bit more difficult. That makes things a little bit more uneasy, if you ask me, because there's definitely two head coaching jobs out there that Ty Lue's name is attached to, and that's the Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks. And if there's a possibility that he goes either one of those teams, well, they definitely get exponentially better to me, because Ty Lue is a good enough coach to go on a team and help them, get to a championship. Because if he has all his pieces and all the weapons that he has and at his disposal, Ty Lue is a pretty good coach. He can make things happen. He's good at making adjustments. We saw the Clippers when, Kawhi and PG was out a couple seasons ago. He had Reggie Jackson and Luke Kennard and them holding down the fort, winning big games, winning big comeback games at that. And, they found themselves in a playing tournament where they had an opportunity, but Paul George caught COVID and Kawhi was out that whole season due to his knee injury, so there was no possibility of going any further. But they did a lot with a very little, and they made it work, because Ty Lue definitely knows how to patch things up and keep things together until, I guess, he gets his superstars back, and hopefully he can make a run. But up until this point, it hasn't happened with the Clippers, so that's the reason why I think you hear a lot of these reports about Ty Lue being interested, and the reports about there is optimism and things like that with it, more so now, even more so now than what I heard and what I spoke on about a week ago. Talks are getting a little bit more heavy and things are starting to ramp up in that area. So, we got to kind of sit back and see what's going to happen, because I can't really, definitively say that Ty Lue is going to be back now, because like I said, the negotiations are not going as planned from what some of my sources are telling me. And, from what I've been reading, from different sources, all the pieces are just not coming together the way it's supposed to. It seems like there's missing pieces out the puzzle, sort of say, in this situation. So, I'm just waiting to see exactly how, it can pan out and everything. I really hope that Ty Lue does, find his way back to the Clippers. I think he's a perfect fit for them. I definitely think if he can, find a way to get Kawhi and PG healthy, which is a hard task, they definitely will have a good chance at, making a run at the championship, because they do have a really good team. They do have a lot of pieces that I think, that will bother a lot of teams, especially what we saw against the Phoenix Suns, where, all that depth with Kawhi Leonard was a problem. That's just one of the superstars. If they had Paul George with Kawhi, along with Russell Westbrook, they definitely would have made a run for the championship, I believe. And I definitely think they would have gave the Denver Nuggets all that they can handle. Especially, with Kawhi and PG healthy, and you had Russell Westbrook playing pretty decent, or at least as good as he could. And I think, the energy would have been different around the team, of course, if everybody was there. But there again, it's another lost season, another lost situation for the Clippers. But at the same time, there's hope there's optimism there. Like I said, they can keep the band together, which is, looking a little shaky there as well, because who knows what the true off season is going to give us in regards to the Clippers. You hear a lot of reports about a lot of moving parts on the Clippers, and it's not just the role players. You hear about the superstars being a possible moving part and being expendable. So it's like, with all that, that you're putting in your head about this team, anything is possible. Not only Ty Lue could be gone, both the superstars could be gone. on, and then the whole team would be, flipped upside down then. So it's like, when you think about this situation in its entirety, as a Clippers fan, you got to look at this team and you got to be very optimistic about anything that happens in the offseason. You got to be open to it because that definitely might be the area that we're going in. Steve Ballmer definitely wants to win. He's definitely got a lot of money. He definitely wants to invest in, what's going to help him win. And, maybe he might make some hard decisions this offseason with Lawrence Frank and other people in the upper management there, because it's really gotten to the point where with the Clippers, it's getting old in regards to excuses for injuries and things like that. They got to find a way to win. That's just where it is, and that's where we're at, and that's what the fans expect, because this operation been together long enough for them to at least have made it to a finals at bare minimum. Maybe not won it, but I mean bare minimum at least made it to a finals with all the talent that they have. And I thought definitely adding, Rocco and Norman Powell to their team as they did about a year ago or so, I definitely thought that was a good move, a smart move, and a move that would definitely move the needle for them. And it would if they would stay healthy, but of course that's the reason why the needle can't move, because the health of the superstars is not as reliable as it should be by now in most people's eyes. But I mean, that's just the way it is. There's nothing we could do about that. We just got to kind of roll with it and see, how it pans out for both of them health-wise, and see if both of them are still going to be available to, be there with the team, or, is there going to be some change in command, like I said, about trades and stuff like that. So we'll have to see how all this is going to pan out. I'm definitely interested to, keep my eyes open and see different things in regards to this offseason, what moves the Clippers plan on making, or who they plan on keeping or dropping or trading, or however you want to put that. But I definitely see the Ty Lue situation being a little bit more difficult now. Hopefully the Clippers will come to, a good reasoning and find a way to re-sign Ty Lue and try to keep the band together maybe at least one more season, because they got to open up that new stadium, and they got to have either some really good new faces there, or they got to have the pieces that they have and build on what they have and try to go through and, go through with their own destiny in their own building, and maybe get out of crypto arena, because maybe that's the reason why they're cursed, or a lot of people might think that they're cursed because they're playing in the Lakers, house basically, which was always Staples Center, and they was always a little brother. But maybe now when they get their new arena and new spot, maybe things have changed for the team. But they also would like to have superstars going over there too, not just a bunch of, other guys. So, they're going to have to try to find a way to keep the band together if they can, and see what happens next year. And maybe it could be the year for them.